Well, on the sidelines of the Siam convention, we are joined by Anurag Mehrotra from JSW MG Motors India, and of course to talk on the big GST reform announced by the government to be called as GST 2.0. Automobile companies have been very efficient and proactive to pass on their benefit to the consumers as well. And I'm joined by Mr. Mehrotra. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. First question, of course, you've already announced the benefits to the consumers to be passed on. One of the first companies to do so. Of course, cars become cheaper. Good news for the consumers as well. Good news for you as well. What is your first reaction coming into this development?
I think all of us are very grateful for the impetus that has been given by the Prime Minister. If you look at the first half of the industry, it was growing barely at 1 to 2%. And I think there was some transformative step that was required. And for a fairly long period of time, Siam as a body has been trying to work with the government to rationalize the duty structure. And we are grateful that the Prime Minister announced on the 15th, and very quickly, in a very short period of time, the implementation also got completed. So we believe this will be a big dose of impetus to the automotive industry, and all of us welcome the move. All of us, or at least a majority of us, have passed on the benefits already to ensure that consumers do not have to wait till the 22nd and they come in and kind of get a chance to experience their product of their choice.
So you just mentioned about the first half, we were having quite a muted growth, 1 to 2%, few of them actually seeing negative growth as well. But now, what are your projections towards the second half? Would you feel it could double from here, go to about 4 to 6%? What's your number?
Yeah, I think it is all a function of how this month kind of pans out. Honestly, all of us are waiting to see how consumers respond. The good news is, in the first 10 days, the kind of inquiries that we have all seen is better than what we've seen in August. So that augurs well. It now needs to translate into bookings and retails. So we are all ready, waiting with anticipated breath to get the great products that all of us have with love created and make sure that we can bring it to homes across the country.
And I'm sure a lot of people, and including myself, I am very eager to understand what was the first reaction from your dealer partners. I mean, what were they saying? Has people started coming in from day one on itself? The footfalls, what was the initial reaction?
So the mood, I can tell you, the WhatsApp groups between our dealers was lit up. I think there was a lot of thumbs up and emojis that were shared. On the EV side, at least a sigh of relief that it was not increased. But most importantly, on a larger front, the fact that GST across the board was reduced, which meant that not just from an automotive standpoint, the disposable income per se across product categories, the disposable income in the hands of the consumer would go up, and they would then use that for any discretionary spends that they may have.
All right, now shifting focus, since the prices of the petrol and diesel vehicles have been reduced, but EV remains at 5%. There's a close gap of about 10 to 13% between 5 to 18. Don't you think EVs could probably have a little cannibalization effect?
I would not like to believe so. I think when we've done the unit economics, it tells us that even today, the three things that work in favor of EVs. One is the fact that, like Mr. Gadkari said, air pollution is the number one issue in the country, and EVs is the right way to go to ensure that we address air pollution. But more importantly, the unit economics still holds good. What you will end up spending in running the car, or versus a petrol car or a diesel car, or you're spending in terms of maintenance, both of these will still be significantly lower. I am of the view that anywhere between 10 to 20,000 rupees per month is what consumers can save just out of fuel. And second, today, the third thing that has happened, which I would like to use, Chetan, your opportunity to communicate to people, is that today, given the battery prices have dropped significantly, if you take cars which are of similar sized, Windsor, for example, is a 4.3 meter product. You take any other 4.3 meter product, which is an SUV and an automatic, because EVs are automatic by nature. You compare that to a 4.3 meter petrol automatic, and you will find that EVs are already at least 20% cheaper in terms of initial acquisition. So given the battery prices have come down, the regulatory costs for ICE have gone up, I'm firmly of the view today the initial acquisition cost is equal or lower for an EV car. On top of that, every month the fuel savings that you would do because you are using electricity for charging your batteries is substantial. The cumulative effect is the total cost of owning a EV is still substantial compared to an ICE.
Alright, shifting focus to the numbers, we saw a great month of August for you. We saw 52% price in sale, 6,500 plus units being sold off. When you do the number crunching, we see that a lot of chunk goes to the Windsor EV, even the hot seller for you. When we see the numbers for Gloucester and the Hector, we don't see much of a traction going there, whereas we see the SUV market booming. So, what is it like? Is the Hector as a product is a problem because of fuel efficiency, or is the Windsor a great product?
I think Windsor is a great product. All products are great in their own space that they occupy. I think if you look at Hector also, Hector petrol segment, if you look at the Hector segment today, it is largely diesel automatic. 80% of the segment is that. We do not have an offering in that product. But if you look at the petrol segment, we have a disproportionately high market share even in that. When you come to EVs, 2 years ago, our market share in EVs was less than 10%. When we started the year in January, February, March, we were at 28%. Today, we are at 30% of the market. So we've grown strength to strength with every product that we've brought to the market, and that is kind of resonating with consumers, which is reflected in our numbers.
Right, and initially it was said that you plan to have 3 to 4 new energy vehicles that you would be subsequently getting to the market. What is the update on that? So
this year we've already done 3. We've launched the Windsor 53 kilowatt. We've launched our new premium channel where you came and graced the occasion. We launched 2 products. One is the Cyberster, which is a sports car in EV, and an M9, which is an EV MPV. So 3 products have been launched this year. Now we are wanting to bring this to the market, serve the consumers, and ensure that we deliver outstanding sales and service experience. That really will be the focus for the rest of the year. And then next year, as we kind of build out our products, we will be the first to come and talk to you on what those products are.
And 6,500 plus products sold in August. Of course, September would be muted because there would be delays and delays in purchasing the vehicles, and subsequent deliveries would be happening. But I want to ask you, by what, as a CEO, what is your target to cross 10,000 mark?
I think it is not the number. I think what is important is to ensure that we drive profitable growth for all. Profitable growth for all means our dealers should be profitable and the company should be profitable. And we believe we have the right ingredients. The products are excellent and you're finding the response, as you rightfully said, in the numbers. The numbers are coming back and telling you products are finding good resonance. Second, the shareholder commitment is very strong. And third, the team that we have both in our dealerships and our MG India team is very strong. So all the masalas are in place to ensure that we have a profitable business going forward.
And all the masalas are in place. What about the MG Cyberster? What response have you been getting on that?
I think it's been fantastic. You yourself have been to the dealerships, so you know the strength of the product, and I'm delighted to say that last month we did over 170 units between the Cyberster and M9, and we are immensely grateful to consumers to come and give us a chance to serve them.
And last question, till what percentage now growth do you see for MG as a whole? Because industry, you mentioned about 4 to 6% could happen. What about MG?
So I have not given you a projection on industry. Okay. What I'm telling you is that
it could happen.
Yeah, so I think the first half of the year was 1 or 2%. Right. We've grown 25-30%.
Right.
We would like to believe that given the strength of our portfolio, given the strength of our teams, we should be able to grow faster than the industry for the rest of the year as well.
All right. Well, Canada as always, Anurag Mehrotra speaking to us on, of course, the big GST, reform. Speaking to us on what EV revolution in India is all about, and of course, giving us a highlight on what really in the store next.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.